Hey everybody, and here's my review of One Piece chapter 1146, titled Movement Amid Stillness. So, this is actually my quickest turnaround from a chapter coming out to reviewing it. I learned that this chapter came out, let's see, when did I message my friends? 16 minutes ago? I did a quick read through myself just to see what this chapter's all about. Then I did a slower reread, kind of, going word for word, making sure I understood everything. And now, here I am doing the review. So, yeah, just in and out 5-minute adventure. So we start off with Yunko appearing on the ship Collins has, and sadly we don't have a moment between Brook and Yunko yet, but they're all like, "Who the hell are you?" And we have Jinbei mentions. And, "Oh, so you're one of those intruders from the human race," the description that the guards at the castle use, to which she seems offended and, goes, "You said human race, we are gods." They realize, "Oh, shit, this is a celestial dragon. Wait, she's not dressed. Oh, fuck, this is a god's night?" And, yeah, talking about taking the children away. We got over to Frankie for one moment just to see him blasting one of the nightmare creatures as Bonnie and Lilith celebrates. And she starts going on a speech. Let's see. Well, first off, we have Nami use arrows to... we have Nami take Zeus and go to attack Yunko. Zeus turns into a shark with Thunder Shark tempo, but Yunko just puts an arrow and Zeus is redirected and goes to attack Brook. Goes to attack Nami, but Brook jumps in the way. Now, over all of this fight, Yunko is giving a speech. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go play by play describing the fight, then go back and sort of say what Yunko says. So, yeah, Brook jumps in the way, and yeah. Next, Usopp goes to shoot her with some exploding shots. Does he use a name for the technique? He doesn't. And her whole upper half of her body disappears. Damn it, I was really hoping they didn't just have regeneration. I was really wanting regeneration to just be an ability exclusive to the Gorosei, because we know that God's Knights aren't ageless immortals. I wanted regeneration to be part of the, part of the why the Gorosei don't age, because, we know that, Shamrock, no, Father, Crescent Moon head guy. Oh god, I'm blanking on the name. I feel so stupid. Garling Fegarland. There we go. We know that Garling Fegarland has been a God's Knight since the God Valley incidents, and he has aged since then. So... so we know he doesn't have, the ageless thing that the Gorosei have. But we didn't know whether or not he had regeneration. By showing Yunko had regeneration, we now know that the God's Knights have always had regeneration, and I don't know, I've been of two camps. If they don't have regeneration, then we can just say that the immortality and the regeneration are the same thing, which it makes sense how Saturn was killed. Essentially just the regeneration got turned off, and all of that excess age that is built up just all kind of went on at once. But them being two different things, not as much of a fan of that, because, well, clearly she has regeneration but not ageless immortality right here. Yeah, but the positive is they're going to have to find a way to get through the regeneration at some point. So I feel like a big purpose of this arc is we're fighting the Gods Knights, who are very weak people with regeneration. Well, very weak comparatively speaking to the Gorosei and Eam. And if we can figure out the trick to defeating their regeneration, then we'll be able to use that same trick against the Gorosei and Eam. But yeah, she starts regenerating. They're freaking out. We get this great line of Brooke saying, "Coming back to life is something bizarre." Fight continues. She has a arrow stab towards Usopp. Nami tries to grab it, but that doesn't work. We get this great panel cutting. Oh, what the hell? We cut over to Dorian Broggy cutting down things. We cut over to the underworld with Loki healing up. We see this great shots of Luffy is lying on his stomach with giant inflated stomach, and we have Loki with a giant inflated stomach as well. Okay, this is very similar to the scene in what was it? The Udon prison where Kid had an inflated stomach alongside Luffy. I was not a fan of that scene because Luffy having an inflated stomach made perfect sense. He had rubber powers, but Kid having an inflated stomach, doesn't. So I guess anyone can just do that? Question mark? That's not just a rubber thing? Whatever. But, okay, Loki doing it. We still don't know his power, but I find that's funny. Yeah. Let's see. We have Colin grabbed and basically yeeted off the ship with a arrow. We see as Jinbei goes to use a fisherman karate punch on Gyunko. Brook uses some sword technique to try and stab Gyunko. Gyunko kind of dodges under it and uses some arrows, so that way Brook stabs Jinbei in the shoulder while Jinbei knocks Brook's head off. She runs up to Nami, uses an arrow to enhance her kick to kick Nami upwards. Then we have this great part where Usopp, which I want to see animated so badly, Usopp shoots his one of his stars, and we see as essentially, okay, so the shot is like a straight shot going straight towards Gyunko. We see an arrow basically slump downward, slither around the slither around the line that the shot takes and towards Usopp, as Gyunko is basically lying prone attached to it like a snake, basically slithering around in 3 dimensions from the shot, and then she knees Usopp in the face as all of them are sent flying off of the ship. I think Zeus included going a different direction, question mark? Not sure. Yeah. Now, going back and talking about what Gyunko was talking about, she basically says, blah, blah, where was it? One day the world was simply going to disappear. At least that's what was supposed to happen. However, a portion of the humans realized this and wanted to make it known to the world. It shows Clover, Olvia, and Vegapunk. And now that it's come to this, we need to rely on the giants. Now that it's come to this, an enormous battle will engulf the world. It's about to begin. Whoever has the giants has a drastically increased odds, essentially. So basically she talks about, hey, we were going to just sink the world, but you guys found out about it, so we were supposed to just, sink the world, have everyone die before they realized it, but now that you guys have caught on, now we're going to have this big whole battle, and it's going to be just such a pain. But good news is if we can just get control of the Giants here, well, that's one big piece off your side of the board, one big piece on our side of the board. So that's essentially the plan. So it seems that flooding the world is like the express goal of the world governments, or at the very least, they know that it's going to happen. It's unclear whether they're causing it or not. Well, they caused it a little with Lelucia, but they're aware that the world is going to end, and they wanted to stay quiet about it and let everyone die, just staying up on the red line. But now, unfortunately, others do know about it. And now there's going to be a war. So I'm guessing one of the things the One Piece is going to do is drain the water. We have Killingham. He's attacking the teachers. And holds up a Den Mushi talking to Summers to the Dengo Mushi, which is essentially like the transponder snails in Wano. How there was like the very small transponder snails with a small distance, and then the big ones that were like relays. It's basically like, hey, we have this we don't have all that good of like a network of transponder snails on this island, but we have a couple of really big ones that are essentially able to like at everyone. So I'm in front of one of those right now. I'm on a Den Mushi with Summers, so Summers, you start talking and it'll go and be transmitted throughout the entire island. To which Killingham's basically, to which Summers is like, hey, Killingham, yeah, love to do that. Hold on a second. Fighting that Vice Admiral who was supposed to die on Ohara, BRB. And Saul is grunting under his breath, Robin, Chopper, don't come out from behind my beard. As we see that Robin and Chopper are in the beard and like holding their mouths shut and doing their best not to say anything. As Saul is defeated and knocked out, at least. And we've got this final line of the chapter, which I'm going to read verbatim, which I'm not quite sure what it's saying. School, library, cut the peace and learning crap. You're warriors. There was a time when giants shook the world with sheer brute strength. You'll become our mercenary soldiers. Isn't that right, King Harold? King Harold, that bastard. He really screwed up this time. As the narrator says, wasn't he supposed to be a glorious king? End of chapter. No break next week. So, my interpretation of that, I think the general interpretation of people was that King Harold was in cahoots with the world government and was basically told to make the giants weaker so that way they'd be easier to conquer. I think what it actually was is that he was in cahoots with the world governments, but and basically was like swearing allegiance of the giants to the world government, but decided to double cross them, to intentionally make giants weaker so that way they'd be useless as tools to the world governments. That's what I'm kind of getting. That's the making everyone weaker, like by promoting like school, library, peace, and all that. Like, that wasn't making them weaker so the government could conquer them. That was an attempt to like double cross the world governments. That's what I'm getting, at least. But it's confirmed that, but like saying blah blah, King Harold really screwed up this time. And wasn't he supposed to be a glorious, radiant king? Sounds like we're saying that King Harold was in cahoots with the world government, 100% confirmed. But he either did a bad job or intentionally, like, double-crossed the world governments. But, yeah, that's my theory. Yeah. But the way it ends with, wasn't he supposed to be a glorious king? I'm guessing that next chapter is probably going to be the Loki sad backstory TM, and learning more about King Harald, but we'll have to see. Anyways, I think that's all I have for this chapter. I'll see you guys next time for One Piece chapter 1147. See you guys then.